In this tutorial, I'll be demonstrating how you can use Inkscape to create this simple, abstract style letter design using any letter you'd like. For this demonstration though, I'll be using the letter A because it works really well with the layout of this design. You can use any letter you'd like though, it all works the same. And this is a good beginner lesson in learning how to use different shapes and elements when designing something like a logo, and creating space between the elements in such a way that the logo retains its versatility so that it can be used in monotone and various other contexts. Before we get started, if you want to learn more about how Inkscape works, be sure to check out my Inkscape Masterclass. It's a collection of over 80 videos where we go over all of the tools and features in Inkscape, and I explain what they are and demonstrate how they work, kind of like how I'll do in this video. We even have a private community where you can ask questions and get help from me anytime you want. I'll have some information about that down below if you want to check that out, and with that out of the way, let's get started. So let me zoom out to 100% and move this off the page. I'm going to start off by drawing a circle. So I'm going to grab my circles and ellipses tool, and I'm going to hold Control and click and drag to create a perfectly round circle. And now I'm going to duplicate this by right-clicking and going to duplicate, and I'll make the duplicate copy white. And then I'm going to hold Control and Shift and scale it down a little bit. And then I'm going to release the click, and now I'm just going to hold Shift and take one of the side arrows right here, or one of the side handles, and just scale that in a little bit so that it's wider around the left and right edges than it is at the top edges. And then I'll take this back circle and I'll do the same thing, only I'll widen it a little bit. Again, I'm holding Shift while I do this, so I'm just scaling the one dimension and not the entire shape. So I'll bring that out a little bit. And then I'm going to take this and maybe I'll bring this up a little bit so that it thins out more at the top. And that right about there is what I'm going for. That creates a nice circular ring sort of design with a little bit of variance in its weight. So now let me grab the pen tool, and I want to choose the straight line option right up here. And I'm going to bring the cursor right out here to the left of the object, click once, hold Control, bring this line straight across, and then click again, and then press the Enter key to create the path. And now I'm going to grab my nodes tool, and I'm going to take this line and click and drag this up. Right now I have this setting applied that turns the paths blue. Up here, this setting up here where it says Show Path Outline, I'm going to turn that off for now. I'm going to turn it back on in a minute, but for now I'm going to turn that off so I can see the color of the stroke that I'm drawing, which is black. So I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to click on this node right here, and I'm going to take this handle and bring this down. And then I'll take this handle and bring that up so that we have a nice fluid wavy line like that. So now let's open the Path Effects menu. I'm going to go to Path, and I will choose Path Effects. And from this drop down, I'm going to choose Taper Stroke. And then I'll come over here to the stroke width input, and I will just increase that. In fact, I'm going to hold a click over that plus icon to increase the size of this. And you'll notice the size of the line is increasing on the document or on the canvas while I do that. And if it's taking too long, you can just manually type in a large number. So for example, here I'm already up to 30. I can tell that this is going to require it to be about 60. Let me give that a try. That looks pretty good. The size that you'll be working with may be different. It's all going to depend on the size of the circles you originally drew relative to the size of your monitor or the resolution. But for what I'm working with here, that looks about good. I'm going to take these nodes right here and bring this in like this so that it kind of just distributes the width of that tapered stroke a little more evenly. And I think that looks a lot better right there. And I'm going to adjust this a little bit. I'm going to hold Control and Shift and take this side handle and scale that up a little bit. I want this to be a little bigger. And right now the line is a little heavier than these lines on the side here, which is good because we're going to place another line on the inside of this, and it's going to make it appear a little more equal to these lines over here. So I think that looks good. Once you're satisfied with how yours looks, go to Path and select Object to Path. But when you do that, you'll notice it takes the fill and applies it as a stroke and removes the fill color. So to fix this, we're going to have to just click on the black fill to give it a fill, and then remove the stroke by holding Shift and clicking the red X down here in the lower left of the screen. And now I'm going to duplicate this object. Let's right click, go to Duplicate. And I'm going to turn this duplicate copy white. And now I'm going to apply an inset to make this smaller. So I'll go to Path and I will choose Inset. And you'll notice it makes it a little smaller around the edges of the object. And we're going to have to apply that a bunch of more times. So instead of going to this menu repeatedly, I'm just going to memorize the keyboard shortcut, which is Command and the left bracket key. So I'm going to hold Command, or just the number 9, Command and 9, or if you're on Windows or Linux, I believe it's Control 9. And I'm just going to scale this down some more. And that looks pretty good right there. Maybe I'll try a smaller size and see how that looks. Okay, I actually like that better. In fact, I'm going to take this whole thing and scale that down a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now let's create some spacing between this curved line and these rings in the background here. So let me select this black object right here, and I'm going to apply a white stroke to this by holding Shift and clicking on the white swatch. And I'm going to open up the Fill and Stroke menu by double-clicking one of the stripes down here. And over here in the Stroke Paint tab, or no, the Stroke Style tab, I want to choose this setting in the lower center of the Order section where it says Stroke Marker Fill. And when I do that, it's going to put the stroke behind the line instead of on top of it. And now I can make that a little smaller. So I'm going to hold down this subtract sign. And I'll make it about that size. I'm going to make this a nice round number that I can easily remember. So for mine, it's going to be 35. Try to remember make a mental note of whatever size you're using here, because we're going to use that size with another object in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to make a mental note. That's 35 pixels. And then I'm going to duplicate this object. So let's right click it and go to duplicate. And let's remove the stroke from this one. I'm going to hold Shift and click on the red X in the lower left corner. And then I'm going to hold Shift and take this top arrow and just click and drag this up like this until we get something like that. And let me lower this down a few steps. So I'm going to come up here to where it says lower selection 1 step, and I'm going to click on that a couple of times and maybe a third time, and it's going to lower beneath this white circle in the center. So I'm going to hold the Shift key now and bring this up some more, and you can see what's happening there. We're getting some of the lines sticking out on the left, upper left and lower right, which is what I'm going for. Okay, that right there looks pretty good. Now at this point, we could start changing the sizing of some of these elements. So for example, if I wanted to make this circle a little smaller, I could hold Control and Shift and scale that down just to give that outer ring some more weight. And I can even scale this up some more. I'm going to hold Shift and bring that up a little bit. That looks pretty good. And now, well, let me take this circle in the middle here and just make this a shade of gray. And I'll do the same thing with these other objects. Everything that's white, we want to temporarily make it gray for what we're about to do next. So I'm going to click on this object. This is not a fill, this is a stroke. So I'm going to hold Shift and click on the gray swatch. And now I'm going to select all of these objects and go to Path and select Flatten Path, which is right there. And now we can click off of it to deselect. And I'm going to start taking these gray objects and just pressing Delete to get rid of them. And there we go, we end up with something like that. Now if you zoom in right here, you can see there's a little bit of a line break between these two objects. Maybe you can't see it on my screen, but I bet on your screen you could probably see like a line break in there like that. So I'm going to make it so that these two objects overlap a little bit so that there's no line break in there. Because if I try to unify them together, there's a chance that those nodes don't connect and then there's a line break in there that we can't see, but it's still there and it'll cause problems later on. So let me grab the Nodes tool. I want to re-enable this setting up here that says Show Path Outline. And now you can see the entire path is outlined in blue or whatever color yours defaults to. So I'm going to click on this object out here. And I'm just going to take this line and click and drag it up into the other object like that. And now the two objects overlap each other, which is good because when I unify them together, there's not going to be any break between them. So let's do the same thing over here. I'm going to click on this object and click and drag this line in here like that. And that's what we're going for. So now let's select everything here and unify it together by going to Path, Union, and then break it up into 3 separate pieces by going to Path and selecting Split Path. And now we have the initial shape for our logo. So now we're going to create a letter. We're just going to add a letter to the center here. And like you can see what I've done in my mock-up, we make the letter intertwine with that wave there. So let me zoom back out. I'm going to grab my text tool now, and I'm just going to write the letter A, or a capital letter A. And I'm going to open up the text menu by coming over, I'm going to go to Text and select Text and Font. And the font that I'm using for this is going to be free serif. So I'm going to look for free serif medium. Any font works. I like the serif style fonts for this sort of thing. It just works nice with the style of this design. And okay, that's good. Let me close out of that. Let me scale this up a little bit, holding control while I do that to maintain the aspect ratio. Okay, that's a good size right there. Let me convert this text to a path by going to Path, Object to Path. And now I want to get rid of this line between the legs of the letter. So to do that, let me just quickly grab the pen tool. I'm going to turn on snapping. I'm going to snap to this corner right here and click to add a point. Snap to that corner, click to add a point, and do the same thing over here. Snap there, there, and then back to the starting point. And now I'm going to subtract this shape from the letter A to knock out that area. So I'll select both of those and go to Path and select Difference. And now we have a letter A without that arm in the middle. However, the line here becomes a little jagged after we do that. So let's clean that up. Let me turn off snapping. And I'm going to go back to the Nodes tool. And I'm going to take these nodes right here and just press delete on the keyboard to get rid of them. And we get these wacky handles out here. Let me hold control. I'm going to hold control and just click on the handle, and that's going to collapse it down. And I'll do the same thing up here. Hold control, click on that handle, and now it's gone. And I could do the same thing over here. Let me get rid of those nodes. Let me collapse those handles down. Again, holding control and clicking on them. And that looks pretty good. So let me move this in here. Let me resize it as needed. I'm going to hold control while I scale to make sure I'm preserving the aspect ratio. And I want to make it so that you can see what I did here. The A goes over, this part of the A goes over the curve, but then the curve goes over this part of the A. So let me start off with this side right here. So I want this part of the A to go over this curve. So I'm going to make a duplicate of this letter A. Right click, go to duplicate. And I'm just going to make this red just to differentiate it. And then I'll hold shift and click on the red swatch to give that a red stroke. And I'm going to come over here to the fill and stroke menu. I'm going to bring the opacity of this down about in half so I can see where it lines up with everything else. And remember before when I told you to make a mental note of that size that you used, we're going to use that same size here. So for me, it was 35. I'm going to type in 35. There we go. And now I'm going to go to Path and choose Flatten. And it's going to break it up into separate objects, and then I'll unify them together by going to Path, Union. And let me just bring the opacity of this down again so we can see where it lines up. So I want to take the portion of this red object that goes over the curve and subtract it from that curve or that wave. So let me grab the pen tool, and I'm going to draw a shape that outlines that red object just in the area where I would like it to overlap with that wave. And once I do that, I can grab my selection tool, hold shift and click on the red object so I have them both selected, and go to Path and select Intersection. And now I can hold shift and click on that wave so that I have the red object and the wave selected, and go to Path, Difference. And now you can see we have that side done. So now we just need to repeat that process only in reverse over here. We're going to duplicate this wave. Make this red, hold shift and click on the red swatch to add a red stroke. And I'm going to make the size of this stroke 35. And I'll bring the opacity down. And if you did everything right, you should notice that the stroke fits nicely inside of the empty gap where these rings are. So let's repeat this same process. We'll go to Path, choose Flatten, unify it together by going to Path, Union. Bring the opacity down, and now I just want to sample this selection right here. So let me grab the pen tool again and draw an object that goes over that part of the shape. Hold shift, click on the red shape, and go to Path, Intersection, and then hold shift and click on the letter A, and go to Path, Difference. And now we are finished. We have created our logo. So at this point, we have created a very simple, very versatile logo. If I could change the color of this and even use it on darker backgrounds. So if I were to make this black, let me scale this down. If I grab the rectangle tool and draw a shape, let me bring the opacity up. Let me get rid of the stroke. I can just take I could take this logo and duplicate it by pressing Command D or Control D. and place it on top of that dark background, and I can make this a lighter color like white, and you can see it retains its versatility. If you found this lesson useful, then consider checking out my Inkscape Masterclass. It's a collection of over 60 videos where I go over all of the tools and features in Inkscape, and I explain what they are and demonstrate how they work. Kind of like how I did in this video. We even have a private community where you can ask questions and get help from me anytime you want. And best of all, there's no monthly membership fees. You just pay $17 one time and you're in for life. I'll have some information about that down below if you want to check that out. As always, thanks for watching.